Welcome to part 3 of my exposure series, where I help you put some transparency as a first-time home buyer with different parts of the process. So I did lenders, I did real estate agents, and now I'm going to be doing sellers who you're buying your home from. And so it's really important that you keep 5 things that I'm going to go over in mind as you go through the home buying process. There are some things you never want to do when you're buying a home, and I'm going to share those with you. I will link the other videos that I've done below. Remember, these are unedited, so I'm just going off my top 5 that I want to share with you. There'll be no edits. I'm going straight through, so bear with me. I'm Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. So let's go with number 1. You never want to share with a seller what the property appraised for, with one exception, because all it can bring about typically is seller's remorse, particularly if the home appraises for more than the contract price. So if that house is appraising for more than what you are paying for it, then the seller may be thinking, hey, I could have gotten more for my home. And it could possibly cause some problems in the transaction. It's just not a good idea to share with them, and you don't have to share. There's no obligation to share with them what the home appraised for. And typically, if you're doing a loan, if you're getting a mortgage, you're borrowing money, then whoever you're borrowing that money from, that lender is going to send out an appraiser to make sure the home is worth what you are paying for it, because that home becomes collateral for the loan. So if you don't pay, they come get your house, they foreclose. They want to make sure that that property is worth what they lent you for it. Now, but you will get an appraisal before the property closes, and you don't have to share that appraisal with the seller. And make sure you don't, even if they ask, because a lot of times, sometimes they're just curious, and the seller will ask, the seller's agent will ask, hey, what did it appraise for? What did it appraise for? I was asked several times at my own closing I represented myself. So the seller and their agent were asking me, what did it appraise for? What did it appraise for? And I would just say it appraised. I never told them the value. I never told them what it appraised for, because it did appraise about $16,000 or $18,000 above what the contract price was. So I didn't want to cause any problems. I didn't want them to delay closing or anything based on them knowing what it appraised for. Now, if it appraises for less, then you may have to share that with the seller, because you may want to renegotiate that contract price, depending on if you have an appraisal contingency or any type of appraisal contingency in your contract. So I wanted to share that with you. I've also had some of my clients where the agents would ask, what did it appraise for? A lot of times the listing agent may not be confident in the price that they listed it for. And so they're trying to either get confirmation that they listed it for the right price. They're just or the seller's just curious as to how much it appraised for. It's not a good situation, because remember, when you as a buyer are buying the property, you generally speaking give earnest money to the seller. Just in case you terminate or walk away from the deal, they're able to keep your earnest money as damages or potential damages if you terminate on them. But you have nothing if the seller terminates on you. However, other than something called specific performance, meaning you have to pretty much sue or maybe threaten to sue the seller and make them sell you their house. And that can be lengthy, like a lengthy process. And some sellers will take the chance of you just walking away and terminating, and then they would relist the property. I did do a video. Since this is not edited, I can't put any graphics up, but I'll put it in the description. I did a video of what happens or what you should do if the seller tries to terminate on your contract. But I just want to make sure that we're clear. One thing you never share is with the seller is what the property appraised for. All right, number 2, a lot of times sellers if you're negotiating repairs, I want you to make sure that you never take a home warranty in lieu of repairs. make the seller either give you a credit for the repair or make them repair it before you close. Because a lot of times they'll say, well, we'll give you, you find some things, during your inspection period, and they'll say, well, we'll give you a home warranty, and that home warranty will cover it for you. And a lot of times the home warranty does not cover it. Sometimes the home warranty company will ask for a copy of the inspection report. And if it was a pre-existing condition, sometimes they don't cover it. So you have to make sure, and if it's a expensive repair, they may not cover it. If the component, like the water heater or whatever it is past its useful life, they may not cover it. So a lot of the things that you think may be covered after closing may not be covered after closing. So I really caution first-time home buyers not to take a home warranty if it's offered to you. And a lot of sellers and listing agents may offer you a home warranty in lieu of them making repairs on the home. You don't want to take a home warranty in lieu of repairs. Make them repair it unless you're very, very clear about what that home warranty covers, okay? But I would say in general, don't take it. Also, sellers are listening, so you don't ever want to say anything about the seller's home in their home. They are listening, whether they have cameras in their home, whether they have, listening devices in their home, they have Ring doorbells at the door, all of those things in most states, and they're totally legal because you're entering their home, their property, they're recording you. And so two things generally happen that buyers do. Either they will be too excited about the property. I love this house, I definitely want to offer. They start talking about the offer. They start talking about, make sure you do whatever you can, like talking to their agent to get this house. And they hear all of that. So that hurts you in the negotiation when you're putting in an offer. Or they say negative things about the house. They may want the property, but maybe they are being negative, maybe about the decor, maybe some of the pictures on the wall, whatever they're saying while they're in the person's house has been negative. And then now the seller doesn't want to accept your offer. So just be really mindful to keep your mouth shut in the seller's home, because they are listening. I want to make sure you are very aware of that, because it could hurt you in negotiations. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up, it's kind of going with the repair thing as well. One thing is not taking the home warranty in lieu of repairs, and I think we're on number 4 right now. It's also when a seller is selling their home, they're not going to fix things in the most long-lasting way, okay? They're not going to do repairs that are going to last a long time, because they're not going to live in the house, right? So you have to make sure when you are writing any amendments or anything like that for repairs, that you're very clear on what the repair is. You know yourself how long that repair is supposed to last. Have your own professionals pass your home inspector. If they say there's something with the plumbing, you want to get a plumber out there. If they say there's something wrong with the HVAC, you want to get an HVAC person out there. You want to get a licensed professional. If your home inspector, they're a generalist, they're just doing a basic home inspection. But if they find something with one of your major components, you probably want to get a professional out there. Like, this is a story that I want you to remember. There was a buyer, and he emailed me after his experience. He made an agreement, an amendment in the contract with the seller to fix a leak. And they agreed to fix the leak. They went through the walkthrough before closing to verify that there was no longer a leak. However, maybe a couple of months after they moved in, it still leaked. So it started leaking again. So more than likely, the repair that the seller did wasn't a long-lasting repair. It wasn't something that was going to last. It wasn't the permanent repair that was probably needed. They may have patched up the leak. They may have done like a quick fix, repair on that leak. But long-term, maybe that needed a more extensive repair. Maybe the pipes really had to be replaced instead of just repaired, that sort of thing. So you want to make sure if you're getting anything major done, is it like a quick fix that they did and it really needed a bigger repair than what you guys agreed to? Because again, typically speaking, check with your agent and your state laws. whatever they agree to, that's what they have to do. So if they agree to fix the leak, you're leaving it open as to how they're going to fix the leak. The main thing is that it's not leaking at the time of closing. So you want to be really cautious with sellers and repairs. And I think, he had emailed because the actual repair that his plumber suggested was going to cost about $10,000. So it was an expensive repair. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. I think I have everything. There's one more that I want to bring up, because when I said that I was going to be doing these exposure videos, one person had mentioned, like, what about seller discrimination? Like, they may see your name on a contract. Like, my name is Shaheedah. That's a ethnic name. It's actually an Arabic name. So they either think that I am Arab or I'm black or whatever. That's going to be something that may come up if, you feel like maybe you're being discriminated against either in your offer. Again, like I said, they're going to see you on their Ring doorbells. I don't know what percentage of homes have them. When I'm showing property, I would say it's at least 50% or more that are going to have Ring doorbells. I would say for the most part in real estate, and I know some people live in less diverse areas than other areas, but for the most part, you are going to get people that want to sell their home for the most money, and they don't care about your race, your religion, your whatever. They don't care. They're not discriminated against you for that. However, in everything, there is probably going to be some kind of bias. There are going to be people that may have a bias against you, but I don't want that to worry you in real estate. Your agent can help you navigate that as much as possible. We do have fair housing laws that you need to be aware of. And, if you have to file a complaint, you can file a complaint. I will link that below. But I would say for the most part, most people just want the most money for their home, regardless of race, regardless of, the things that fair housing does protect. But we do have a history in our country of that being, an issue over time. And I'm not saying that it's not happening now, but I don't want that to be something that stops you from moving forward, going to certain neighborhoods, that sort of thing, because for the most part, the seller wants the most money for their home. But if you feel like you're being discriminated against, fair housing, there are fair housing laws that need to be followed, and you can file a complaint if you feel like you've been discriminated against. So I just wanted to bring that up because some of my viewers brought that up when I was going to, do these exposure videos. So just be aware of that. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments. And I have one more. I'm going to pick on you buyers on my last exposure video.